Good morning. How very nice to be with you all once again on this lovely rainy day. It is lovely. One of the things you've asked me to speak about in this particular trip is Jesus dispelling the myths, so to speak. Now, many people get a little bit nervous when they hear that. Nothing that we will speak of today in any way demeans the power or the purity of the man Jesus. And you notice I said man Jesus. To most people, they see him as a god. They see his mission as showing the God by doing the healing and doing this and doing that. But they do not understand that he came to teach, and he came to teach you to use your qualities, your abilities, and your divine force. He came to say to you, all this and more shall you do. And he wasn't kidding. He said it. He wants you to understand the divine force in the self. You see, you remember that Jesus was born in the Piscean age, which of course was the age ruled by fear. It was used as a teaching tool. Its purpose was focus, to get man to focus, to bring him from a scattered energy into a focused energy. The teachings came from outside the self. There was rigid law, rigid doctrine. God will get you if you don't watch out, all right? This whole process, the age of mea culpa, I am not worthy. And yet one will hear the words, you are made in the image and likeness of God. And if you're made in the image and likeness of God, how can you be unworthy? And so what we have to understand is there are, for the purpose, and the purpose was not meant to be an evil purpose, it was meant to be a good purpose. Things were read into the whole process of this wonderful man. He was made a god by man. He was a god by birthright, just as you are. You see, it's how you look at the word God. You have to understand that you, when you say you're made in the image of likeness of God, are made of the energy of God. Doesn't mean, one head, two arms, and two legs. It means of the energy of. And what was his purpose? To build faith. His purpose was to build faith, to build man's faith in himself through the power of God within him. The healing that he did was also to teach you that you could heal. What is healing? Remember that when you smile at someone, when they're down, you have healed. When you listen to someone who needs to talk about it, get something out of their system, you have healed. It is not something totally separate or miraculous. It is an every moment interaction with your fellow man. Yes, some become very miraculous. Why? Because of the belief, the faith, the trust that is built in the person who is the healer. No man alone heals. It is the divine force that comes through him that heals. And so, along the way, we're going to look at Jesus in his various states and try to understand his magnificence. Now, if you think of one moment, or just for one moment rather, and you think about a man doing the things he did, it really says more than saying, well, he's a god, of course he can do that. You see? And many people say, well, Jesus could do that, but were they going to try to do it? No, because Jesus was a god. They couldn't be gods, so why would they try? And remember, when we refer to you being a god, we refer to you being God-like, not a dictator. You become God-like, which means to be open, to be non-judgmental, all right, and to be ready to move that energy. Yes.
It's interesting because deeply entrenched in Christianity itself is anyone who attempts to display qualities like that is using an evil power, and that's the way it's been turned in today's world. So
well,
they call it sorcery, witchcraft, and condemn it.
Did you all hear what he said? All right, he said it's surprising because in Christianity, over time, there has been an attitude of if you try to display those qualities, then you're evil. You're trying to be like God, all right? And yet that's what God wanted us to be, like God, all right? Doesn't matter whether you're angelic force or whether you're a human. You're of the same energy. There is no separation. The separation is made by you, by your thoughts, your actions, how you handle things. All right? Christianity is not evil. All right? You know, in your world, I look down and I am very, very almost amused at what one does with God. You box him, you shape him, you mold him, and now you've got him, and nobody else has. All right? My God is better than your God sort of thing. And that's so ridiculous, because God is, you are, and you are one. It doesn't matter how you worship God or accept God. It matters that you do.